Hi guys, welcome you all to my channel Explore Edu to Teach. So, you know what? Before getting into the normal stuffs of the content of this channel, let me all introduce to you this page first. Who am I who is going to be a speaker for all the videos that are going to be uploaded over here? And what is actually the content of this particular page? And how is each and every one of you going to get benefited out of it? So if you really like this, please remain onto this video, hold on to your patience and kindly listen to me. So talking about myself, I am basically a graduate in electronics and telecommunication engineering with an aggregate of 9.14 on 10. Post that, I cleared exams like GATE, and today I am fortunate enough to be working in one of the core domains of electronics and telecommunication, like 5G, and would like to promote the same to you if I get a good response out of you. So, after my introduction, let us now try to understand the contents of this particular page. So basically, at the initial level, post which definitely, if I get a good response from all of you, I will try to widen the horizon. But currently, at the beginning, this particular page is intending for the videos and free study material. The PDFs that I will be using in this particular lecture will be freely available to you as an attachment in this video so that you can freely download the video and the PDF without spending a single penny, and you can learn from it and can excel not only in your university exams but can also excel in different exams like GATE, different service level examination wherein such technical concepts is going to be of prime importance. So basically the subjects are going to be from electronics and telecommunication department, but mind you guys, I know that you will be knowing that these subjects are going to be common with electrical engineering, instrumentation engineering, and also with all other allied branches of engineering as well. So do like, share with as many as you can. Comment in the comment section if you really like this with a big fat yes, so that it encourages me to bring more good content on this page. Also, the other people who are not related to electronics and the other allied branches of engineering, do not get upset, because if I get a good followership from your end, if the page grows well, trust me guys, I have plans to bring something on professional front as well. As I told you that I have been working over technologies like 5G, so I will be trying to bring over a few lectures wherein I will be guiding you on the opportunities through such kind of engineering branches. Today, guys, trust me, mind you, 5G is one of the most lucrative things out there in the job market. Today 5G is not only restricted to telecom, but all the software guys, cloud guys are a part of 5G technology, because software and cloud has a very big, mind you guys, very big footprint onto my 5G technology. So if you all guys are interested, please follow this channel, spread it to many so that every one of you can not only get benefited from in terms of academic career but also in terms of your professional career, wherein I will bring for you guys few lectures on the knowledge that I have gained over the few years in terms of 5G, the associated skills required for that, so that you not only excel in your academic career but you have strong skills through which you can target the job market and can have a very progressive career life. So I hope you guys have understood this, and if you really have understood it, please give a yes in the comment section, and please give a good followership to this channel, because it will definitely push me to do something better, to bring the best content for you guys. And the more content that you want me to bring just depends upon your response. So do give a good response if you find it interesting, and please, it's my humble request to share it to as many as you can. Okay, now talking about the content of this channel, as I told you, we'll have different subjects. One of them that we are beginning with is control system. So today we will be talking about the introductory part of control system. for which the PDF I'm using is seen to you on the screen. So you can go through this video. Please bear patience with me because in this video, you will be coming across the basic terminologies of this subject. If you understand these terminologies, it will be easier for you to understand all the other concepts, critical concepts I can say, for which video and the necessary study material will be uploaded on this particular page from time to time. So let's start with the basic part of the control system, the introduction part. The material you will find as an attachment over here. Please do download it. Please do follow it. And I'm sure it will help you in your academic career for sure. So talking about the aim of this document and the aim of this video, basically over here you will find control system part being taken. It's one of the most important part of engineering aspect, may that be electronics or not, because if you don't have a control environment, things are not going to work out for you. So we are going to cover different theory as well as numericals based on this subject. The numericals are solved in such a way that the university requirements as well as the competitive exams like gate requirements are taken care, so that when you appear for an university exam, you know how do you approach it, and when you appear for a competitive exam, you know how do you approach it, because the ways are going to be different. In a university exam, the steps, the method really matters, whereas in a competitive exam, what really matters along with steps and method is your time. So how do you do it? The segregation is also given here very well. So please follow this content very well. Download the PDF as I mentioned, and do study it well. So moving forward, so with the contents, so this video and the PDF over here will have the introduction part. But as we move forward, there will be a lot of concepts related to control system being introduced, like block diagram reduction, signal flow graph, time domain analysis, stability analysis, Routh-Hurwitz criteria, and also most importantly, the root locus technique. So if you understand the introduction part very well, I'm very sure you're going to understand the other concepts also very well, because the basic terminologies are going to be included in this particular PDF and in this particular lecture itself. So beginning with the introduction. So basically control system is an arrangement of different physical elements connected together in a manner that it can regulate, it can direct, or it can control itself or some other system. So there is going to be an entity, and there are going to be different elements which are going to control this particular entity. And this entire setup is called as a control system. The control system can be divided into two types: the controller or the plant and the process. The controller is basically a signal or an external factor which is going to be acting as an input to my system, and my plant and process is going to be my system. So the system to which my input signal is going to be there, that is itself my plant or my process. So I hope you are very clear what is a control system. So control system is nothing else than different set of physical elements which are put together, which will regulate and control the itself or some external system. And there are two parts of it. One is the controller, which is the input signal we can see, and the other one is the entity itself, the plant and the process, which is going to be controlled. Also, very importantly, mind you guys, please make a note of it. There are two inputs to it. One is the reference input, the other one is the controlled output. The reference input is given by R of t. I've underlined it over there. Please make a note of it. And the controlled output is going to be written as C of t. The reason I'm telling you this is that everywhere you'll find this terminology being used for input as R of t, and the output is no longer going to be an output, it's going to be a controlled output, since you're talking about a control system, and hence the output is going to be designated with a C of t. If you all know about Laplace transform, R of t is going to be indicated as R of s in S domain or in Laplace transform domain, and C of t, that is the control output, is going to be designated as C of s, or I can say as C of S in Laplace domain or in S domain. So I hope you are very clear with the control system, the two parts of it, that is controller and the plant and the process, and the inputs and the output of it. Now, this is just a general classification of the control system. The first one can be a deterministic and stochastic. So deterministic system are those in which I can determine the output of the system. That if I give this input, this will be the output. Whereas the stochastic system are those systems in which the output is unpredictable. You can say random. So this is one kind of system. The other one is a time variant and the time invariant. Again, a very important terminology, which is not only going to be used in control system, but also in some other subjects as well. So time variant control systems are those in which the parameter of the system varies with time. That is, the output is going to be time variant. It is going to be a dependency on time, whereas the time invariant system are going to be those systems in which my parameters of system are going to be independent of time. Hence, my output is going to be time invariant. Going forward, the linear and the non-linear system, I hope that you have an understanding about linear system. The linear system will satisfy basically a superposition theorem. This is just to give you a mathematical aspect of it. It satisfies the additive property and the homogeneous property. The additive property says f of x plus y is f of x plus f of y, whereas the homogeneous property says f of alpha x is equal to alpha into f of x, considering alpha as a constant. If it's a non-linear system, it's but obvious that this is not going to satisfy these properties. Now coming to the most important kind of division, that is the open loop system, and next we have the closed loop system. The open loop system is the system in which basically you don't have a feedback. If you just see at the most below diagram, you have R of t, you have a controller, you have A of t, you have a plant, and you have a C of t. Now the C of t is not coming back to the input. That itself shows an open loop system. There is no entity connecting the output to the input back. Hence, it is called as an open loop system. There are certain advantages of this system. As compared to the closed loop system, it's going to be simple in design. Construction is easy. The response is definitely going to be faster. Less maintenance cost because you don't have a feedback element coming in. And it's more stable. But the disadvantage is that accuracy is less. See guys, if you don't have a feedback coming from the output to the input, the input is not going to understand about what changes has to occur in the output. So the accuracy is going to be lesser. It's going to be less reliable, less efficient, obviously, because I cannot fine tune my output since I don't have any input coming from the output. And it cannot sense the distortion that can add after controller stage. Obviously, how will it sense? Because there is nothing coming from output to the input. So obviously it won't be able to sense the distortion in the output. And the bandwidth is going to be low. Now talking about the closed loop system, if you compare with the open loop system, the only additional entity and the most important entity that classifies or differentiates the closed loop system from open loop system is the feedback element. The feedback element from the output to the input differentiates a closed loop system from an open loop system. So what are the advantages of a closed loop system? Accuracy, yes, it's very high. It's going to be more efficient. The external disturbances can be sensed because I will always have my output coming as an input. So I can actually understand what has happened to the output and can be used over a wider range of frequencies. Hence the bandwidth is going to be higher. Disadvantage, the response is going to be slower. Obviously, because every time I'll have the output coming into the input, again sensing it, again processing it, it's going to take a certain amount of time. Complication in design and less economical. Obviously, because there's an additional factor of feedback coming up, so it's going to be a little more costly as compared to the closed open loop system. However, we always prefer a closed loop system Because if I actually want to sense what is going on in the output, is there certain issue with the output, I need to have a feedback coming in. Either the output will be distorted and the input will not be aware of it. Hence, a closed loop system is mostly preferred over an open loop system. However, each system has its own pros and cons, which we'll be looking now. And according to your requirement, you can design an open loop or closed loop depending upon your requirements. So the effect of the feedback in closed loop system. So I told you that a closed loop system is definitely going to give me better output as compared to a open loop system, because I can sense my output. I can always improve the quality of my output if there's certain amount of distortion via the feedback element, which is absent in the open loop system. The feedback of effect of feedback in closed loop is so and so. You can have a positive, you can have a negative feedback. So in case of positive feedback, the gain is going to be very high. Negative means the gain is going to be very less. But apart from that, negative feedback has many advantages as well. The sensitivity is going to be less. The external disturbances will have less impact in case of a negative feedback system as compared to a positive feedback, because the sensitivity is going to be less. It's going to be less sensitive to the external disturbances. It's going to improve the dynamic response, and it's definitely going to have a higher bandwidth. Now, last topic for this PDF and for this video is the transfer function. This is very, very, very important, guys. Transfer function is one term which you will listen many subjects में, but one of the subjects is going to be control system. So what is transfer function? Is basically the Laplace transform of my output to input considering my initial conditions as 0. So if you see, my output was C of t, controlled output, that is given as C of S. My input is R of t, that is given as R of S. So I have my C of S upon R of S, and the initial conditions are 0. So the transfer function, I repeat, is basically a input, or basically a kind of numerator and denominator kind of thing, wherein it's going to be a Laplace transform of output upon input considering my initial conditions as 0. My output is the Laplace transform of C of t, which is given as C of S, and my input is going to be a Laplace transform of R of t, which is given as R of S. So thank you so much, guys. This is for today. We will be having many other topics coming in the future, and the videos and the notes for it will be uploaded from time to time. Please do like, comment if you like this lecture as a yes in the comment section, and follow it and share it to as many as you can, so that many people can get benefited out of it. And the coming topics which are mentioned over here as block diagram, signal flow graph, time domain, Routh-Hurwitz, stability analysis, and many other subjects can be studied properly for your exam and something for your professional